Hi, I'm Chris Adams, and today I'm going to be talking about perfect fourths tuning, part 18, minor triads across the fretboard in the second position, second inversion. So the goals of the guitar in fourth gear project is to use perfect fourths tuning to simplify all the patterns. So if you're like me, you play guitar for a while and you were in the cage system and you learned the boxes and you learned the shapes. And for me, it was just like a big jumble in terms of connecting it all together. But when I learned a few years ago to tune the guitar in fourths, everything started to make a lot more sense. And this is about relearning guitar from the first principles thinking, like what is an interval, what are my finger shapes for that, and replacing the memorized patterns with real note knowledge and interval knowledge. And another goal of mine for this project is to make studying music a meaningful, lifelong learning project for anybody to pursue. So what is perfect fourths tuning? If you're used to tuning your guitar, if you've tuned your guitar across the neck like that, everybody knows you go back to the 4th fret to tune the other 2 strings. Not this time. We're going to stay on the 5th fret. So in this guitar, I tune the 2 strings up. So I have, instead of B and E, I have C and F. So E, A, D, G, C, and F. So it sounds a little bit weird, but it means that the same shape can be played across all the strings. It was in tune better, it would sound better. But you only have to remember one shape. So by the end of this lesson, we're going to play minor triads in second position using 4 fretboard patterns to open up the pathways across the neck. So in the link, there's going to be a link in the description to a handout sheet on triads. Oh, my versions are broken again. So there's 4 versions. So if you've been watching the series, you're starting to hopefully catch on a little bit. So the version 1 is going to be 5-3-1 on adjacent strings, or sorry, 5-1-3. So we're going to be doing most of our work in A minor. Whoops. Ugh, yuck. That's better. So that's going to be our tone center, right? So we're going to start with we're going to be 5-3-1 or 5-5-1-3 on adjacent strings, 5-1-3 on strings next to each other, and then 5-1-3 on 5 and 1 on one string and third on the other, and then 5, 1, and 3 all on the same string. So that's here. This diagram's different than where I just played it. So we're going to start in this example. It's D. We're in the key of D minor. So and we're going to go. So the first example is 5th on the 2nd fret, 5th root and open string, and then we're going to go 5th. Whoops. 5th root 3rd. 5th root 3rd, and we're gonna go for it all on one string. Okay, so and this is the last column or last row, sorry, on the handout. So first we started with root position, then first inversion. Now we're at second inversion. So we're doing this through all the triads. This particular one is the minor triad, the second one, and we're going to go to diminished triad and augmented triads, which are less commonly used, but it's helpful to keep getting them under your fingers. So this is taking the shapes we talked about and extending them across the neck in different octaves. And so this slide is 24 frets of the minor triad. Whoops, not major triad, it's a minor triad. Hold on. So this is the entire 24 fret, 2 octaves of the minor triad. It's kind of a lot. The black notes are the roots. the green notes are the fifths and the purple notes are the thirds. So you can come back here. This is also going to be in the PDF attached, or referenced, I guess is the right way to say it. So we're going to play the same chord in different octaves. So we're going to be back in our A minor. So that's kind of our tonal center to listen for. And we'll start at the 12th fret here and play 5th through 3rd. So we have the 4th interval going up at the 12th fret, and the 10th fret we have the 3rd here. And it's beyond the scope of what I'm talking about, but you start to see where you can put this together across the neck. And I start again. Okay, so I got ahead of myself. Sorry. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to go up an octave. So for the octave, starting here on the E note on the 12th fret of the E string, we're going to go E, A, and then C. So it's 12, 12, 10. Then we're going to go up an octave. Whoops. So you can apply your own exercises for this video series. I just want to kind of get the diagrams out there and not really talk so much about all the different ways you can play them, but just to show you the patterns, the repetitive patterns. So now we're going to go from the 12th fret up an octave this way. So for the 12th fret on the E string here, the octave's going to be here on the G string at the 9th fret here. So I'm going to go 5 root 3rd, 5 root 3rd. And now here it is in multiple positions on the neck. So we're going to play the same thing again, 12th fret, 12, 12, 10, and we're going to go, we start at the 7th fret, and we're going to go up an octave from there on the 9th fret. Whoops, major chord, sorry. So 9, 9, 7 for the fret numbers, and we're going to go up to the 14th fret. All the same shape in different positions. The second variation is going to be 5th root 3rd. Okay, and we're going to go up octaves this way. So we're going to go 5th root 3rd, so 12, 12, 15. And we're going to go 14, 14, what is that, 17? And then we're going to go 16, 16, 19. So this is a little bit easier on the fingers because the intervals are fourths and thirds. Now I got a phone call. I'm so busy. Where was I? Here. So we're going to go 12, 12, 15. And we're going to go up an octave. And we're going to go up an octave. So 16, 16, 19. Okay, and then we're going to go back this direction. So we're going to go 12, 12, 15, and then 9, 9, 9, 12. And we see these other shapes. Don't ignore the other shapes as they come across. So that's kind of a fun way to play a triad. Whoops. If I can get my fingers to make it happen. Here. Whoops. So I'm looking at the 12th fret across there. I was like, oh, that's something I can pick up. That's a new riff that I can enjoy using. So lastly, we have across many strings. So we're going to start at the 12th fret on the E again. 12, 12, 15, 7, 7 on the A string now. 7, 7, 10. And then what do we have to next? The 14th fret of the A string. Whoops, sorry, of the D string. We can play at the 2nd fret, 2, 2, 5, or 14. And then we're at the 9th fret here of the G string. And we can play at the 16th fret of the C string. Okay, so that's all the way across, the same shape everywhere. It's nice. This is the 3rd variation, where we're going to be 12, 17, 15. So this is going to be a large leap, a perfect 4th leap from here to here. Okay, so for triad, it's kind of a big stretch to do the 4th here. But if you want to do, if you're trying to play this chord, and you have the 7th, you can hit the 7th along the way. Just throwing it in there. But let's stick to the program here. So we're going to go up the octaves again. So 12, 17, 15. Then we're going to go 14. Whoops. And we're going to start at the 16th fret. Okay, so we get the familiar shapes. It's going to be these are our minor 3rd, root to the 3rd, and that's the 4th interval. So we're going kind of backwards now. Okay, so you can start to work your way around the shapes. You don't have to stick it, but you don't have to stick with the exact pattern as you're progressing. But this particular pattern you should learn, because all of them you should learn really, because it'll come in handy. So here we are going down this way. So here we go, 12, 17, 15, or 9. So there's our octave between the 12th fret on the E string and the 9th fret on the G string. And then finally, we have it across all of the 5 strings. So starting from the 12th fret of the E string, 12, 17, 15, and then the same notes at a different place on the fingerboard, 7th fret, 7, 12, 10, and then we're going to go to the 14th fret on the D string, or also 2nd fret, same thing. And then up to the, we can go play the 4th fret on the C string, or play it up at the 16th fret. That's as written here. Play it up that height. And then the final boss is doing it all on 1 string. So we can start here with, I'm going to run out of frets? I don't think so. So let's see. So in this case, this is the 5th. So we're in the A. The E is the 5th of that. So that's kind of got a kind of rockabilly scent tone to it. So is the way we play that up at the 12th fret. And so here's the way we're going to play, because I didn't know why I did this, because going up the octaves, we would run out of frets starting up at the 12th fret. But starting at the open string, we can get it done. So root, 5th, 3rd, and then at the 2nd fret of the D string, whoops, Whoops. Sorry, I made a mess. But in the process of making a mess, I want to show you that these shapes, the minor triads, all the triads are thirds and fourths or fifths, right? So here's our A minor triad. This is a little aside. So we have a minor third interval, a major third interval, and a perfect fourth interval. And by practicing all these fingerings, you're going to get used to the minor third. And if you, it depends on what you do next. If you do the minor third and then go, whoops, you're going to have a minor triad. If you do the, if you do a major third below, so same finger shape, two different functions, right? So if it's, you're playing the third and the fifth of one chord, and then here you're playing the root and third of this chord. Anyway, I digress. So sorry, too long of this. So next we're going to do up this way, but in this case we're going to start on the 12th fret. So we're going to go 12, 17, 20, and we're going to go up to the 9th fret where our octave is. We're going to go from the perfect fifth to the, so the fourth interval, sorry, from the fifth to the root, and then from the root to the third, and then starting on the 11th fret, we get the fifth, the root, right there. And now coming across all 6 strings, we have starting at the open string, fifth, root third, so open 5, 8, then we're going to go 7, 12, 15 on the A string, and then 2, 7, 10, and then we're going to go, what's next? On the 9th fret of the G string, and then we're back to the 4th fret of the C string. So exact same octave, different timbre because you're playing on a different string, and finally starting at the 11th fret. Across there. So we made it. So this is the last row. So we started with the I'm not going to get used to this very easily, am I? Whoops. That's better. So first row across is starting on the root position, minor chord starting on the root position, then first inversion, then second inversion, which we just did. So if you're methodical and you go through all this one step at a time, you'll start to match them together. And you say, "Oh, I know this feeling of being so." So for example, it's here. So you can start to say, "Oh, okay, that riff is really the first inversion. I'm sorry, the second inversion. So fifth through third." And so you'll start to kind of piece that together, get it in your ears, and then because it's small pieces, you can hear that when you're improvising, which we'll get into later. You can get into on your own. I recommend practicing this kind of thing with drone tracks or backing tracks. It's super useful to really start hearing the note characters and the characteristics, so that when you're saying can say, okay, that's my root. So if I have a drone of this, I can hear, okay, that's the third, that's minor third. Anyway, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. So take your time and go across these patterns, and with a few weeks of really trying again, if you go try the perfect fourths tuning, it doesn't cost you anything. If your strings are, if you use 9s or higher, 9s, 10s, or 11s, I would tune these 4 strings down. It makes life easier, and you're less likely to snap strings. And then just work through the patterns. Work through the patterns slowly. It's like, okay, I'm going to relearn my majors. I'm going to relearn all my stuff and see what happens. And then periodically, try a jam track and say, oh, this helps. Anyway, thanks again. Here are my books. The first book on the left is the Transitioning Your Mindset from a Caged Thinking into a Perfect Fourths Tuning process. The next book with the metallic cover is all about triads. So I just kind of deconstruct triads, and this is the first portion of the book where we're just talking about the 3 notes in the same octave and all the different ways you can play them. And by stacking together these variations of small patterns, you can cover a lot of ground, especially because perfect fourths tuning turns your guitar into a consistent grid shape. Thanks a lot. Here's my website for more stuff. Here's my logo and my QR code. Have a great day.